Welcome to That Toy Life, people. Another week, another episode. Well, that's not really correct because we didn't have an episode last week because we had graduation for some kids. But this week, brand new. Tonight, we're talking about DC Multiverse line from McFarlane Toys. Is it the best DC toy line ever? I don't know. We're going to talk it out. But I can't do it by myself. So I have to bring in the best co-hosts in the entire universe. Which one goes first? Ray Snedeker. Oh my gosh, what is he doing?
I don't know. And James, hi.
Hi. Great. Strong intro.
Yeah.
And of course, the lovable Austin Gordy. You're not lovable. You're lovable? Okay. I don't know.
That was actually my reaction to the McFarlane argument. It's basically just the scarecrow meme where it's like no.
No.
You sure you weren't channeling the Butabi brothers? You know, the no. Yes.
You guys are so funny. So before we
finish each other's sandwiches. Anyway.
Yeah. Before we get started, what we like to do is show off what we got this past week. I don't know if everybody got anything, but I got a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
But did everybody get something?
I got something. I can go ahead and show. I didn't get much. And what's funny is I'll just start off by saying I stopped by Target, didn't get this, but this was actually a pretty awesome item I saw that was almost my haul for $60, but I saw that they had the Joker mobile.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I'm actually on this episode right now, Joker's Wild, of the Batman animated series, and they're driving this and crashing everything. I mean, it's really cool. So yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's actually really big for $60. It's a really good price point. But me personally, this week, I think, in terms of hauls, I was able to grab the second printings of the new X-Men 97 issues. I haven't. Apparently, issue 3 is second printing because these things apparently sold out, and I've seen them when they were on the shelves and just didn't buy them at the time. And I don't know. Ever since I've seen the series now, I'm like, I want to read this to see how this connects to the. I'm guessing this must be a lead up to the series.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of an in between. But anyway, this was one little thing I got, but the main haul, which I just was floored. I found this at a local comic shop, and it's in really pristine condition. But it's just weird because I've been going through the Batman animated series, and they had this Mask of the Phantasm adaptation from DC. So yeah, the art looks great. I can't wait to read it. I mean, I actually just watched this. And it's got the sort of the in-universe origin of the Joker in this, so that's a plus. Yeah, I mean it was great, and I only spent like $15 on this.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got that, and also found these little things in the local toy store at Planet Fun. They had these Inspector Gadget toys. There's only just these two. So I'm gonna just be fun, because these are only like a couple of bucks. Yeah, collect each one and put it all together because this was.
I almost had all of it. I got close to. I think I was just missing a couple pieces, like 3 or 4 pieces. I got them with the torso. I think a leg, an arm. I think I may have gotten both arms.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is just the torso, like the head, and you get the torso so that everything's going to connect to.
The front's its own separate thing.
Right, and it's cool because this is number 1, and then I've got apparently number 8. I don't know if this is the last one, but the hat, with the propeller, which is technically like a horn. I guess you blow into it, and it's a horn, but it also goes on his head. So yeah, I've got some of the pieces, but yeah, Ashley, have you seen this before?
No, is that the Matthew Broderick movie?
Yeah, it was weird. Okay. It was that random Matthew Broderick adaptation of the live action Inspector Gadget. And I mean, I thought the movie was cute as a live action adaptation, but just it was just one of those weird, like just unicorns where McDonald's really knocked it out of the park in terms of toys, where when you got something, it was just a piece of Inspector Gadget and you had to collect them all to build him. And he turned out to be, when you build him, he was a big probably, what would you say, Ray? Was he about at least 8 inches, 9 inches?
About a 12-inch toy, I think.
Oh, so he went probably about 12 inches. Okay.
I think he gets tall. I think. Yeah.
It-
The
it's
Inspector Gadget movie, though, I think that was one of my early realizations as a kid that not everything lives up to the hype.
No, I was going to say it was.
Because the best thing about it was I loved the commercial. I mean, the initial trailers for it because it had some fun little innuendo, and I was like, man, this looks really funny. And then I went and saw it in theaters, and they cut all of that out, like all the innuendo they had in the trailers, they zipped it, and I was kind of like, and by the end of the movie, just the plot was just kind of weird, I was young and I was thinking that wasn't as fun as I was hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, it was like that movie was just really odd. And obviously Wild Wild West was a punch in the gut. I felt like around that.
At least you got
time.
a giant spider in that. all we got with Inspector Gadget was Matthew Broderick with weird veneers as an evil gadget, and then
the evil version of him. Yeah, it was just big teeth.
Yeah.
But no, I thought this was a really cool feature of it, and it's still fresh, still works. But
Oh wow!
yeah, he sparks in his chest. So
catch your house on fire. Sweet.
Catch my house on fire. So,
Woo,
but yeah, no,
haul?
I can't wait to. Yeah, that's pretty much my haul. But yeah, no, I thought that was a really cool find.
Cool.
Ray, do you have a haul for the week?
Yes, because this came in last Thursday, and being that we didn't get to record it, I didn't get to show it off. But this came in. The Ghoul from Fallout.
Oh, okay.
So this is based on the character that Walton Goggins plays in the Fallout TV series. But McFarlane did some statues, and I managed to pre-order the Ghoul before everybody saw him in the show and fell in love with him, and now he's sold out. You can't get him through anybody but scalpers currently.
Dang scalpers!
But
are those technically considered part of the Movie Maniacs line, or
it is. It is here. Let me show you.
I was going to say because I know I have the witch.
Yeah, see,
and they seem to be
Movie Maniacs. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say they seem to be the same scale.
Yeah, it seems like they did a limited run on these, so there's only 5,600 of them made.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a certificate of authenticity.
Woo!
And so it is.
That means number real.
Yeah, 1957 of 5,600. And according to this, it does say created, developed. What? Not this part. Where is it? All figures are individually hand painted and sequentially numbered. So I'm not sure if that's true. That's a lot of hand painting.
Well, more than likely, it's an assembly line thing.
But it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a great statue. If you love the show, if you manage to find one somewhere, definitely get. I wish I would have pre-ordered Lucy. Also, I really ended up liking her character. Mm-hmm. Maximus sold out the day it was announced. I think because everybody wanted that the power armor as a statue. So that made sense why that one. But all of them are sold out now. You can't I don't think anybody was anticipating how popular all three main characters would end up being. But yeah, that's my haul.
Okay. So before I get into my haul, let's hit up the chat for what everybody got in there. Joe Fan says I got the Built to Rule G.I. Joe Locust. That's pretty cool. Failsafe G.I. Joe Trapjaw from Motu. Is that the vintage Trapjaw or the Origins? And G.I. Joe Comics 48 and 62. Yeah, those are pretty good things to hunt down. Those Marvel G.I. Joe comics. Yeah. I have a few too. I love
his energy. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
I think I have that Built to Rule Locust as well. And he said that was the retro release. I got you. All right, so my haul. I guess we'll go in a solo layout. Didn't get much this week. I got Tarantulas, Legacy Tarantulas.
I've been seeing a lot of Transformers announcements, like new drops, for the studio series.
Point Blank. Got a Legacy Point Blank.
Woo.
Yep, I got this little guy at Dollar Tree just because he was sitting there for $1, and I said, "Last one, I'll get him." And then I picked up a G1 Vintage Warpath. These are not as cool as I remember because they're a lot simpler, but still cool to me. Cool to me. Cool to me.
I like the
Alright.
simplistic look of the originals. Some of the
Yeah.
just the way I don't know, I really dig it. But then I really just love the ones that turn into jets for some reason. Because I love the jet fighters. I feel like I saw one recently that was fairly new, and I'm like, I don't collect Transformers, but I kind of want
that jet.
I want the Ecto for sure.
Yeah.
Even though I don't collect Transformers, I want the Ecto.
Yeah.
Don't you want that?
He's cool.
Don't you want those Roboson ones that like transform?
Oh my
on their own?
gosh. The
Oh wow,
$1,000
yeah,
ones,
those
things
$899 ones.
Yeah. Well, what's great about those is I remember. Do either of y'all remember the kids show called Arthur?
Yeah.
So-
Vaguely.
Because there was like a little toy thing that would happen, I think, every now and then. But there was like a toy that they would play with. They were basically like Transformers that did what the Roboson did, which was transform on their own. Like you would press a button, it'll transform.
Mhm.
And I thought that's a really complex version of a transformer that they got in this world. Like I wish that would exist, and it's becoming a reality now. It's just more expensive than I think Arthur could afford as a kid.
Oh yes.
Isn't there a Hot Wheels now, like a Hot Wheels transforming Optimus Prime or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
I paid for it.
What I mean, explain it to me though. Is it a small Hot Wheels car that transforms, or is
It is
big?
Hot Wheels size, yeah. But basically, it's the original G1 Optimus Prime shrunk down to Hot Wheels size. It's all metal. It's got the shiny paint on it to make it look like super great. Except you don't get the trailer; you just get him.
Will the trailer come eventually? You think, or
I don't know. Depends.
they better?
I mean,
I
it
feel
sold
they
out
better.
it sold out in like 26 minutes, I think.
How much was the car?
$80.
Woo! I was gonna say 20.
I wish I could have just skipped the camera.
It was
like
80.
20's already a lot for a Hot Wheels, and then
it is.
just throw that extra 60.
But I've never heard. I've always and plus I've seen like Jada cars or the Jada brand. They'll do the Transformers, but they don't transform. They're just the vehicles. Or you'll see them, that are just kind of as the robots.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was always. I wondered why they never went with that angle, like either with Micro Machines or with Hot Wheels doing the actual Transformers that transform at the tinier level.
Oh, yeah. They're doing it now because Hasbro needs to. They got to license that bad boy out.
You need that that Dola.
Sky Knight said he got a Bishop X-Men 97 figure. All right, cool.
Oh, that's so sweet. I need to get. I'm telling you, man. I can't believe I missed out on the Wolverine. I've had him in my hand before, the X-Men 97 Wolverine. Wish I'd gotten him, and I'm glad I got the Cyclops because he just every time I'm looking at him on the shelf, I want to stop and just pick him up. The sculpt looks so good, and the face sculpt in particular. I'm sure the body is probably like a sort of a copy of an older figure or something like that, an older release, just better paint job. I don't know, but the face sculpts, both of them look great. I can't get over how good they are.
Hasbro in general has been getting really good with their face sculpts, so it makes sense that if they're getting good with like realistic face sculpts, the animated ones should be a piece of cake to get right.
It's just really cool because they're not doing the, how like the Black Series with the animated stuff.
Yeah.
You know how they kind of go that realistic angle is sort of like just their adaptation. With this, I love how with the X-Men figures, especially with the 97, they're really trying to get it close to the animated style. So like I mean, I hate to say I want to wait till maybe I can find them at a discount, but I wouldn't mind getting a lot of them. Like I really want Nightcrawler. I keep passing on him because especially the last time I passed on him was because they had a Cyclops.
Yeah.
But I need Nightcrawler, but I feel like I need to just go ahead and get Magneto and I guess you would say Magnus and Magneto, the both suits.
Good luck on Rogue.
Yeah, I was going to say Rogue, I guess. Why did she sell out? Was she just not that many made or something?
If you've looked at eBay, woo, 120, 140 bucks.
It's character popularity.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I think that version of her from that series is really popular.
Is that
from
most
the animated
iconic
series?
Look, yeah. It's iconic look of
I mean that was I think that was the birth of a lot of boys realizing that they like girls.
Oh, Rogue. Or Rogue.
honey, have you ever thought about that idea? Just like putting a white streak through your hair. Like
Sky Knight says Goblin Queen is expensive too. I didn't get her, and I hadn't looked for her, so I didn't know. I don't know
I
about that.
think I might have actually come across her recently, and because isn't there like the two versions of her? There's the Goblin Queen, and then there's or is it just the Goblin
I
Queen?
think it's
Because I
just the
saw her.
Goblin Queen.
She had. Does she come with little?
It's the
what's
black
this-
outfit.
But I'm saying, doesn't she come with the baby? One of the figures I saw came with the baby.
I hadn't paid that much attention to it, so I don't know.
I'm blanking on his name. It's
Somebody in the
Cable's
chat,
name.
anybody know?
Yeah. Is it Chris Summers? I don't know. Anyway,
Nathan.
like the Nathan Summers. There
Yeah.
you go. Thank
Nathan was Cable, becomes Cable, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. It's Cable, but as a baby. One of the figures, I can't remember if it's the Goblin Queen or if it's some other version or something like that I've seen. Yeah,
She
she
said,
comes with Nate.
Nate.
So I just saw her recently, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of was thinking about it. Like, I wonder if I should get this, and I just
Probably
passed
should
on
have.
it. I probably
should
should
have.
have.
Held on to it.
Quick question for y'all, because y'all are better versed with the X-Men animated series. Did Iceman ever appear in that series?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
because
think so.
I
remember him, especially
He's like,
towards.
I guess
I
imagine
thought
he
he
was
wa-
like a guest character, right? He wasn't
Yeah,
part of the
'cause
main cast.
No, because if anything, I feel like he didn't even come in until way later into the series. Like,
Yeah, he was like a guest star,
Yeah.
like in a couple episodes, maybe. I think. I don't remember him being
I'm trying to see
in it
which
all that much.
which episode it says he was in.
While you're looking up that, Joe Fan said his son is watching. He wants everyone to know he got a Luke Skywalker Shadows of the Empire. Awesome.
Wait,
Wow.
so the version with the
removable helmet.
the
The
armor.
red- yeah, the
I had
red
those.
armor.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually just going through all those, and I've got all the figures but him, the Luke in red armor, still in because I've got all the figures out of the box, but I've got them all in the box except for Luke, in the red armor. There's and Dash Rendar is
Hey, I got
one
him
of my
like on a
favorites.
whim at our local comic store because he was just sitting up near the counter, and they
Heck
had
yeah.
him like they had a tiny little like $3 tag on his like taped onto his leg, and I thought like, so that's for sales? Yeah. So
Yeah, dude, that was I love
Yeah,
I love
it.
those Power of the Force. What do you call it? Is like Power of the Force 2? What would
Yeah.
you say that is actually?
Yeah, that's what it was. But it was kind of like a sub line because it had.
Well, yeah, that was the
Shadows of
subline for
Empire.
the book.
Yeah,
And I loved the Shadows of the Empire media line, like just everything. I love the toys, the games, the books. I've got all of the variations of the books. They even had the pop up. Remember the pop up book of Boba Fett and IG-88's battle?
And
Oh,
they
yeah,
had,
yeah,
they had their
that
own
was, or it was a pop up
soundtrack.
comic. Excuse me.
They had their
Yeah,
own,
I've got
score.
I've got the
Everything
score on
except for the
vinyl.
movie.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't finally just done some animated movie.
I had the CD.
That was the most bizarre directive by George Lucas, I think, that ever existed. Was let's make a movie. Let's make a movie where we do all the merchandising for the movie, but we don't make the movie.
I think he's trying to think outside the box and try to think at what can I do with Star Wars? How successful can it be if I do this or whatever?
And man, I'll never forget the game, the Nintendo 64 game, just blowing my mind with the Hoth battle. I'm like, this is what I've always wanted video games to be. Because I played that Super Nintendo game a million times.
Controller because of all the times you're trying to get the perfect circle around.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
Yeah, that was horrible.
You'd be sweating. You'd just be like, "Oh, cool."
I gotta do it this time. Oh, it dropped.
You pulling too hard. You pulling too tight.
Cord or whatever. Yeah.
I actually just did it fairly recently, and I was fairly decent at it. I was surprised with myself. I gave myself a little pat on the back. It kicked in.
Yeah. Joe Fan said he just got Dash to complete the Outrider.
Yes, I love God. If they will just bring Dash and the Outrider into the new canon, that's going to be when I break something. I'm going to get up and be hooping and hollering like when I did with Thrawn.
He's been acknowledged in one of the reference books. He exists as a character. They just haven't done anything with him. They haven't put anything notable to him yet because I guess if anybody does get a chance to do something with him, they don't want to, I guess, have any baggage to tie him to yet.
I just, oh God, I really do. I really do hope they do something with it.
He said his son also got Silver Streak. So tell your son congrats. Good haul on getting the cool hauls this week.
Well, quick question before we jump to the main topic. Who's your wish list cast for Dash Rendar if they were to do something with him?
Woo. I don't know. I mean, the hot pick now would be Glenn Powell. You know.
I can see that because of
like
the swashbucklingness.
Yeah, especially when you
But-
see like him in the trailer for Twisters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
which I
cowboy
can't.
stick
He looks
going
perfect
on.
for Twisters.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm like, especially based off of what I saw him do with his character in Top Gun. I'm like, yeah, he could do a good variation of that character he does in Twisters.
I don't know.
So
I'm
anyway,
thinking Tom Holland. You know, I don't think we get enough Tom Holland, and I think
Dude.
Star Wars needs Tom Holland.
No, but Marky Mark though would be getting.
You know what? Just looking at Dash Rendar and an action figure of him, you know, I could probably see someone like Tom Hardy actually taking it on.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
good, yeah,
Tom Hardy, or if you had to go a little bit younger or something like that, you know, if he was just like, I don't want to do that, I could see. Oh God, he was real. Well, I mean,
Timothy Chalamet.
no, he's just nah. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't done something in Star Wars yet, but he could do something good. He just has that look. But then, I mean, I'm saying that because he was good in Dune.
Yeah,
but I don't know. There was a guy I saw recently. I used to would think it was the guy from the Lethal Weapon TV series. What was his name?
Shane Crawford.
Yeah,
Shane
I was going to say
Crawford,
he was actually, you know,
he ended up getting blacklisted because of all the stuff that went down.
Yeah. It was just, I was trying to think of people with that. I mean, obviously, I bet, I mean, Walton Goggins would do some crazy, you know, version of it. But no, Jensen Ackles would.
Jensen's a solid pick.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah, I was going to say I could see Jensen.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
Chris Pratt, you know, people are that's probably who they're going to try to throw the money at. They'll be like, get Chris Pratt to do it, and I'm like, come on, guys.
I think Dash Rendar would be a secondary kind of. He wouldn't be Chris Pratt worthy. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't.
He's more
unless they did a Dash Rendar movie.
So you think? Oh, okay. So you think? Do you think he would be introduced as a secondary character then, like a?
Oh yeah,
character?
I think. Yeah.
Like a support role, and then if he's popular enough, they might give him his own TV series.
Well,
Yeah.
he would be perfect to come in the Mandalorian, because that's just that perfect, you know, environment for him. So I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's a good backdoor open environment because you can bring in characters, especially with what he deals in with, which is the scum of the universe. But I don't know if we're getting another season of the Mandalorian though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the movie makes it sound like it's going to be probably the end of that storyline.
Before we head off to the next thing,
honor roll.
Said his son got AB honor roll. Awesome!
Sweet.
Congratulations! And
awesome.
and somebody here has some daughters that graduated.
Yes. Just don't talk about it, or I'll start getting all crying
old
stuff.
You'll get all old and stuff.
Yeah. I'm already old.
Man, I feel super old.
Okay, so let's head on to the main topic for the night.
Right.
So the question is, since McFarlane released teasers, or actually put up for pre-order today, the 3 new figures: the Atom based on the Silver Age, Green Arrow based on the Longbow Hunters, and Superman based on Our Worlds at War, which is a Ed McGuinness drawn book. Do you think that the DC Multiverse line is maybe the best DC line, not Batman centric, DC line of toys to date, or do you think there is something else out there? And let's go through before you start talking. Let's just kind of go through the evolution of DC toys. Okay. And what you have is, back in the 70s, you had the Mego pocket. I think they were called pocket heroes. And there wasn't many, right?
That was the dolls with the cloth.
Well, no, these are actually
right?
3 3/4-inch figures, and they had 5 points of articulation. You didn't have many figures. You had like Batman, Robin, Superman, Lex Luthor, General Zod for whatever reason. I said Lex Luger. General Zod.
Not the WCW.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel, and maybe a Wonder Woman. But that was it, right? But that was kind of the precursor to Superpowers, when Kenner picked up the license. And to me, you know, Superpowers was pretty awesome.
I was going to say, I would throw my hat in and say Kenner with like the superpowers and
Mhm.
what they did beyond that, and how they kind of either would retool that or continue in that universe and work with the Batman movies and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just felt like Kenner was a strong contender for good DC output, at least for a while.
Yeah, for a while. And then when Kenner, I somehow lost the license. I can't remember the details behind it. Toy Biz picked it up and sort of
Oh yeah, that's right.
in a weird way, looked similar to Superpowers, but sculpts were different. Actually, they resculpted them. But again, it didn't last long, maybe a couple of years. And then Kenner got the license again. But they didn't really go to a DC centric line. It was Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. And there may have been a hero here and there thrown into those lines, but it was not just a DC centric line. It was based on those properties. And of course, a litany of other Batman related lines like Legends of the Dark Knight, blah, blah, blah. Their evergreen line that they had. Then they brought in Total Justice in the 90s, which was the figures were based on the 90s era toys where they were
This is the JLA.
Yeah, where they,
line.
Were all posed in crazy
long hair Superman
positions. Yeah. So
and everybody was like in really wide-legged poses.
Yes.
Yes. Superman had
crazy.
Superman was almost like
he's drop kicking somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
and then of course Justice League came out, and that cartoon, and through Justice League Unlimited, they created a whole pile of characters. And then of course DC Direct started up their thing, which their line was not really one line of action figures. It was like, okay, we're going to take this little hit thing here and this little thing here and maybe a Swamp Thing and a Wonder Woman, whatever. And that continued on until a few years ago. And then of course Mattel with the DC Universe Classics, sculpted by the Four Horsemen Studios. To me, awesome stuff. And then that sort of ended kind of weirdly and turned into DC Multiverse, which they ran for a few years and then ultimately died off and gave way to McFarlane's license. So here we are now. And I'm going to show you a few pictures I found around the interwebs here of several of these lines, just to kind of give you an idea of what everything looked like before we start talking about, oh, this is the best, whatever. So here is the Justice League Unlimited line. Can you see that? Yep.
How tall were these figures?
These were like 4-inch figures, but 5 points of articulation. Now, this came from DCHallofJustice.com. I want to make sure they get the credit for this image. This was, at this time, probably the biggest line of just DC toys, right?
Yeah, I had no clue that they did this many figures for Justice League Unlimited. Holy!
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I remember just seeing so many out there that it doesn't shock me though. I can't believe there were that many lanterns. Like, I want all the Green Lanterns.
Over on the left, the one that's like 2 people high, 2 figures high.
Her
on the left side. Yeah,
that's Giganta.
I was saying Gargantua. Giganta. I mean
Gargantua. No, Giganta.
Man, I really want that Superman figure up there.
No, my only issue with these were the T90 legs and no holes in the bottom of the feet, which made it tough to stand these guys.
That's the folly of the Bruce Timm characters. Like the typical art style is, the small legs, very big torsos.
Yeah.
I mean, even the McFarlane versions of these have standing issues because of that style.
Yeah, they do.
And these are, and the fact that because it's a 5 points, so there's no ankle joints on these, right?
Nope.
So the fact that these still can't even stand with ankle joints is or their problem standing with it.
And the plastic that was used too was, sometimes you could take them out of the package and the leg would be all bent out of shape, just the way it was stuffed in the package. And of course, if you knew what you were doing, you could set it back with some hot water, but still it wasn't all that great. Going back to the superpowers, here's a photo from Dan Curto, Cool Toy Review. This is this all? I don't think this is every one of them. It might be.
There's my Superman.
Yeah,
got him. Yep. He's just not in here at the moment, but that's my boy.
Oh, and these are cloth good capes. Is this the type where they had like the tiny little plastic ring that slides in and out?
For
the cape.
Yeah.
So
it goes around the collar. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember there would be like a little I remember specifically from the Batman figures from like I think it's from the movie line, the very first movie. They would have cloth goods.
Yeah, same idea.
It was like a snap on, but you could pull the plastic ring out because I was a kid and I like to mess toys up.
Yep. Yeah, and this is what started me right here, because this was during the Super Friends show, and I was just all into this. Here is, of course, the big ginormous DC Universe Classics line, right? And this comes courtesy of Swoosh here. You can just look. These are all 6-inch action figures, 6-inch scale, right? And just the diversity of figures here. It's not just Batman and Superman. If you look through this, you might see 3 Batman, or 4 or 3 Superman figures or whatever. The rest of it, all different, all just this. To me, honestly, this is the premier DC line of action figures, because McFarlane, while he's making some C and D level characters now, he hasn't gone totally obscure yet. Like if you look here, Alexander Luthor from like Earth, whatever he is in Crisis on Infinite Earths. When are we getting that from McFarlane?
Yeah, Alexander Luthor the Third, I think.
Yes, yeah, something like that.
The villain of Infinite Crisis.
I will say though, what makes McFarlane such a contender though is just the current level of sculpting plus the keeping the cost down, so that they're actually just in this current market, they're fairly cheap, affordable figures. So it makes the current line definitely a contender with everything he's been putting out. But I feel like it's still too early to call it the best, because it's just, I mean, we don't have all the Batmobiles that are out. They don't have all the stuff that you could, just all the characters. I mean, we're just now getting into some of the movie stuff, I mean, but I'm sure there's so many comic lines that they have left to touch on.
They have been
obviously
they have been doing something with the Batmobiles, because they did the Keaton Mobile.
I was going to say we've got the Keaton Mobile,
and they just the
tumblers,
the tumblers,
which comes with the Lucius Fox, which is really cool.
And
I'm just saying it's a really interesting twist. It's a deep cut, but I mean, I think that's pretty cool. He gets his love, he gets his time to
and that's part of why I wanted to bring this topic up too, is because now we're starting to see him sprinkle in a few deep cuts like that. Whereas, and two, with the DC Universe Classics, what you got was the classic look of DC characters. With the DC Multiverse, this kind of spreads the gamut of everything that in DC, not just comics, but movies, TV, cartoons, whatever.
Because it did seem like, I could be completely wrong here, because they did a lot of different boxing for these, and I know McFarlane has very uniform boxing for most of their figures, but it always seemed like there was a different box style. So I don't know if it was a different brand or not, but like they did Kingdom Come figures. Who did the Kingdom Come figures?
Now McFarlane has done a couple or two.
No. The ones that
DC Direct.
Before. So those
DC
are DC
Direct.
Direct. So was DC Direct a toy maker, or did they? Okay, they were.
They were their own thing. I don't know the relationship between DC Direct and McFarlane Toys now, because when McFarlane signed that license or started in 2020, DC Direct just said, kind of folded in.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a LucasArts thing where the cheaper idea, it's cheaper to outsource it than to do it yourself.
But if you notice some of the sculpts, like if you buy those Batman the Animated Series figures, they have the same sculpt, the same plastic, the same everything that the DC Direct line had. So it makes me wonder if DC Direct's not, he's just outsourcing to DC Direct to create these. You know, the DC Direct figures. Now, I'm not talking about the latest ones that, like the ones that were announced today, because they're basically multiverse figures.
Yeah.
You know, just with the DC Direct branding on them. But if you look at the statues too, I mean, it just looks like DC Direct is still doing stuff in the background.
Yeah.
So
I wonder when
Todd's taking credit.
Yeah. I wonder when they're going to announce the pre-orders for Batman Forever, like that line.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's rumored. That's Batmobile's rumored. Yeah,
I'll say that's another problem with. Well, I would say that's one problem I have with McFarlane is that there's no such thing as release dates. They just come out when they come out. I don't think anything I've ever pre-ordered has come. It usually comes out before, but they just always just put some random. It always feels like it's just a random date that they put for when it's going to release. But they either get it before or they get it sometime after. They just say, "We apologize for the delay."
That's true. But it also kind of depends on where you order it from, too.
Yeah.
Target's notorious for.
Target, like all the third parties, but I think I've had like similar issues with Amazon. I would say maybe the Flash was probably one of the few exceptions because they had to. I imagine they had to have them out in time for the movie.
Yeah, it almost makes me feel though like he's trying to guide people to his site to buy. But I mean, because if you order it there, I haven't heard of any people not getting product when they order it there. The only bad thing is when you pre-order from there, you pay up front. They charge you like right then, and the shipping is just like ridiculous.
And I mean, that's another problem, and I get it. That's kind of it's its own version, I guess, of mom and pop. Instead of going for the big guy, like Amazon. But I had Prime, so
yeah. Like Amazon sucks for pre-orders too. So I mean, Starfire's not coming for a month. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, Amazon does suck.
I don't think I have any. Yeah, I don't think I have any McFarlane pre-orders currently.
Really?
Yeah, I have looked for Batman Forever ones, like the ones you're interested in, because I'm interested in that the Sonar suit. I would love to get that Sonar suit and possibly the Chris O'Donnell Robin. I liked his Robin suit in the movie.
Yeah, that was my thing. That was my favorite. Yeah, me too. I thought that was my favorite of the two. I like the Batman Forever Robin suit.
Wait,
and then
the problem with the Batman and Robin suit was just simply like he just wanted to do Nightwing without calling him Nightwing.
That's what I'm saying. It would have been cool if he did that suit maybe in a couple of scenes. Maybe he like after they have their little tussle, like I'm going solo, like I like Poison Ivy likes me, I'm going solo. Then he does his Nightwing spat,
Well,
but I feel like he should have kept
that would be too much effort for the writers to deal with. That's not
a beautiful suit.
Actually, you know what? Well, yeah, that wouldn't be toyetic enough though, because that was one of the problems that Batman and Robin had was the whole toyetic thing, where producers kept telling them, "Come up with new stuff so we can make toys from it." So if you had to go back to the suit from the last movie, that's not the new.
Well, I would have just adapted that suit. Yeah. I would have just made it slightly different, but still that style of the suit, and then change it up or something. But anyway, that's just here or there. But yeah, I definitely would want. I mean, I want those two for sure, but I might as well just get the whole line. But I was a little hesitant because I've already got Two-Face and Riddler in the box. Of the original line, the Kenner, right? That was Kenner. Yeah, they released those. I've got
no, that's Toy Biz. Two-Face was Toy Biz.
You sure? I feel like those were.
Wait, you're talking about Batman Forever. I'm sorry.
Batman Forever line. I was just saying I've got the Riddler and Two-Face from that line.
Yeah, my bad.
And so I don't know. I think I'm just going to get them anyways to complete the set because you get those, but all it does is build the big bat that's in Bruce's mind.
Yeah.
Or you could just say no. It's the Joel Schumacher man bat. It's the Schumacher verse man bat.
Well, so where do you fall on this idea of where McFarlane stands in terms of quality for the figures, actually.
Now, speaking from somebody who has like a crap ton of McFarlane DC Multiverse figures, a crap ton, which is trimming down.
Yeah.
And it's trimming down drastically. I like the DC Universe Classic style of action figure better than the McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. I'm not a fan of the diaper.
I was going to bring that up because I know that's been one of your big pet peeves. Is that hasn't been something they've been able to really figure out yet.
It just breaks the aesthetic of the figure when you're looking at it, right? I know it's there because they're hiding the articulation from the waist to the hip. I mean, that hip articulation, because there's nothing there. It's just joints,
Yeah.
So but I really wish they could come up with a different way to put those figures together without that diaper on it, because it just kills it for me. It absolutely.
Well, I'll say it's one of those problems where, for me, I don't notice it until it's a figure that's bad enough where when you notice it, you really notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are figures where you really don't like. At least I don't notice it.
Yeah,
it just depends on. Like I would say, like I could look at my Red Hood figure from the Three Jokers line. So I don't really notice it, but then again, I don't really have him posed in any certain way that would really exploit it because he's kind of. Yeah, I think his jacket kind of conceals a little bit, and it's dark.
Well, if you covers it up, if you have a figure where the belt's like the top piece of that diaper, you don't really notice it because your belt tends to stick out anyway. Yeah. But if you have like a Blue Beetle or a Booster Gold, it's got the bodysuit on, or Captain Atom. The Captain Atom is one that really just grinds my nerves because there's no break in that costume, but with the diaper on, it just seems like it just looks awful to me. I don't. Some people say, "Oh, this is a great action figure." Well, I don't like it. I don't like the wrist articulation and the ankle articulation have come a long way, I will say, since McFarlane first put those figures out, because before it was just a ball joint and it was going everywhere. I hated it. Now they have a little more of a, I don't know what to call it, like a clicky kind of joint in the wrist, a clicky joint in the ankles, and it makes the figure a little more sturdy standing on the shelf.
Yeah.
Than what it was. But I will say that he's doing stuff now that DC Universe Classics wouldn't even thought about doing, like Batmobiles. The Mattel would have never done that because they would say, "Oh, that's not cost effective. We can't produce that." So that was never going to happen with them. But with McFarlane, he's done it, and so he's building it out. And with these latest releases, it's kind of making me think, maybe he's on this upward trajectory of becoming the de facto DC line of all time.
I think there's one hurdle. There's a couple hurdles, but I would say one glaring problem that he has to deal with, because we don't. It sounds like it's not a him problem; it's a Warner Brothers problem.
Yeah, it could be.
Which is the accessories issue, which is characters who have guns cannot have guns currently. They did it right at the first, like right when the line started. There were characters that had guns because there was the Thomas Wayne Batman.
The Grim Knight too.
And he came with his, his dual weapon, his dual handguns. So I think that's a very weird Warner Brothers directive too.
Yeah,
like it feels very tone deaf, considering that they should know who their main demographic of purchasers are. And I don't think that I don't think that kids are buying the McFarlane figures as much as older people are.
I don't think so either, but they're on the shelf where kids can see them, and I guarantee that's where Warner Brothers is like, we can't have the little ones looking at the guns.
They still go and buy all the Star Wars characters with the blasters, and they buy the Marvel characters.
Those are science fiction weapons.
I was going to say the Marvel figures too have it.
Yeah, they do. Punisher has weapons. Yeah. Punisher comes with a buttload of guns. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's not a McFarlane problem though, because he's fine with it. Obviously he's made like accessory sets just for the people that, hint, hint, want to get, weapons for their characters that have them.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that's one big problem. And I'll say that another problem, at least that I have.
So which one is this? Maybe I'm missing something. Which Nightwing came with a human heart as an accessory?
I assumed that was a joke. But maybe not. Maybe it's in.
Because I'm trying to remember. The last Nightwing I bought was the Titans one. Oh, Vampire Nightwing.
Yeah,
Vampire
Nightwing. That just came to my head. Yeah, it's like the horror stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Vampire Nightwing.
I mean, it's the weird moral values when it comes to executives trying to guess what children can look at and what they can't handle. They can't handle looking at a gun, but a bloody heart, sure.
Kids can handle that.
But what was the other? They still have a problem trying to get face sculpts nailed down.
They do,
because I do see a lot of times that they'll reveal this new character, and you will see like comment sections, people just ripping the face apart. Like there's been multiple Supermans where that's happened. Like, and these aren't trying to be accurate to like an actor's face. These are just comic versions, comic versions
with crazy smiles.
Yeah, it's like there's that weird Superman figure that came out where he looked really, really dopey in the face, and people would just rip that apart. So I would say that inconsistency is a little bit of a knock against McFarlane. I don't think they've gotten consistent enough with getting the face sculpts down.
And the scales all over the place.
Yeah.
I can't, that's one thing I can't stand. I mean, the DC Universe Classics had it to a degree, right? Like the San Diego Comic-Con Lobo that they released was like ginormous compared to everybody else. Or Starfire might have been tinier than what she was in the comics. But for the most part, because they were using similar body bucks, everything seemed to be in scale, whereas McFarlane can release 4 figures in the same wave of Superman, Batman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. And the one who's supposed to be the biggest and tallest is the smallest by far, just out of some weird proportion, like Martian Manhunter. He's supposed to be a tall character, and he's like one of the shortest multiverse figures. So he does not look good in any photo unless somebody like has him behind everybody on a pedestal or something. Yeah. So he towers over them, and you can't see it. I don't know.
He said that Martian Manhunter's smaller than other.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because I was going to say I thought I remembered seeing him, and he seemed pretty large in the pack, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, you put him up against like Superman or Batman, and they tower over him.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's not good. Maybe they'll correct that and then you like a reissue or something.
Yeah, who knows?
Have the fans spoken out about that? Because
yeah. But it's McFarlane.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I got this thing I got to show you. No, I will say though, I think I said it in a previous episode, but his Music Maniacs that's starting to come out, those are looking good.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
yeah. I would say like when in one place I've always thought he's been fairly consistent. At least like his quality has gotten better over time in general with figures in terms of detail. His more statue stuff has always been pretty good.
Yeah.
And relative to the time when it was made. Like I would say stuff now, like say like the Ghoul figure looks 10 times better than McFarlane figures from 10 years ago, like McFarlane statues. But they still looked really good back then when they were made.
Yeah.
I'm talking about even 20 years ago when McFarlane was first in the game, though, those are some well-made figures too. Even the movie stuff. But God, I want the Headless Horseman from Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
We found one, but it was like the mane was missing from the horse. Like the glue I guess, dried up or something. It broke off and it fell out of the package. But yeah, the big old Headless Horseman would be an awesome set for McFarlane.
Well, I mean, I think McFarlane Toys is an innovator in the toy industry. I mean, if it wasn't for McFarlane Toys, I don't think action figures would be where they are today. Like with all the articulation, and that's kind of an oxymoron saying he led, the way on articulation when he had static action figures for like the
I was gonna say
sports figures.
I was gonna say because I have this, I think I've shown this before on the show, but I have this Jack Bauer. This was from 24, and this would have been made. This is when the show was still airing, so this would have been
2006,
mid to late 2000s, because it mainly played throughout the 2000s era. So the face sculpt is pretty solid, for Kiefer Sutherland. It's pretty good.
I was going to say that to me, it looks like if you had told me that came out today, like this is part of their movie Maniacs or something, I'd believe you. It looks just,
and this isn't completely static either, though. Like his arms actually do,
okay.
But it's not fair. It's not fair to call that an action figure, though.
I mean, I don't play with it in the tub.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it's sold as an.
Or do you?
He can't swim like Jack Bauer can't swim.
He's got to be able to move his legs.
Yeah.
Flashback. He figured it out. He's like, oh no, he can't swim. He's like in the tub.
He's going down the drain.
Oh, I'll never do that again.
So wrapping up the DC talk here. Yeah. I think that McFarlane is on a positive trajectory to overtake DC Universe Classics, but I still feel that DC Universe Classics is the best DC toy line ever at this point. Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I'm not extremely. I won't say I'm too beholden to one brand or another. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that's always mattered for me is, do I like the character? If I love the character and the figure looks pretty good, there's a good chance I'll get it. Like I saw that thing a while back, or not a while back, but really recently, where someone did a leak, and apparently like there might be a Simon Baz and a Guy Gardner 2-pack coming up. I love both of those characters. It's probably a fake. I think it almost sounds like it's just like they're trying to get two of the characters that they keep forgetting about. Yeah, it's probably a fake, but I would love to see those two characters made by McFarlane, because I love both of them, and I would not mind seeing those because I love the designs normally for them.
I was thinking you said Victor Zaz.
No.
You said Simon Baz. Okay, I was thinking, why would they put Victor Zaz and Guy Gardner together? That makes sense. Okay, yeah. You make sense now. My bad.
Yeah, because I love Guy, and I could see them probably trying to kind of get him a little bit more into the limelight, being that they're going to be introducing him in live action next year. Yeah. So it'd be, that's just an example. If they give me a character that I really want and it looks pretty good, I may, I'll go for it. So, but yeah, I've liked a lot of what I've gotten from McFarlane.
Austin, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have a soft spot for the Kenner line, but I think for the bang for your buck and for everything that's been coming out, I think McFarlane's starting to become a heavy contender, probably for one of the best ones. I mean, it's just, I'm sure you're voicing a lot of people's concerns about the diaper look. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I've only seen a few figures where it stands out, where it's like, oh yeah, that's slapped on there pretty badly.
I'm in the minority, I think.
I mean,
okay. I was going to say, because they just, other than that, I'm like, wow, I'm just shocked that he keeps them at the price point, because it just seems like NECA's at $34 or $36 now, per figure. And to me, he puts out just about the same, if not bigger sized figures, just about the same kind of paint, but then you get all the accessories and stuff like that too. And I'm like, it's just insane that there's
much less.
I'm sure. So, but I'm saying, like, when you look at it and feel it, doesn't feel like it's cheap of a figure. You're like, this feels about the same. NECA, obviously, they feel like a little more solid, but it's just crazy how they keep the price point so low. And I like that he's continually throwing in new things and some deep cuts and stuff like
Well,
that. And
I just
want to
just Todd, if you're listening, never do the side eyes again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, like don't
even get me
go
started.
back.
Don't
to that
experiment
again.
too hard. Just find the stuff that works and don't break it. In the name of like trying to be dynamic.
You're gonna start seeing
that's the one
everyone else
reason why I
cross-eyed.
never. Yeah, it's like that's why I never touched the anything from that Batman line, the Matt Reeves Batman line. I didn't touch any of those figures.
Man, I got a few of them. So anyway, all right, that's it for the Batman. For the Batman, for the DC talk. Let's sort of wrap it up because we're getting closer to that 1 hour mark, and I've got to be respectful of people's times. People's got to go to bed.
It'd be funny if
Anything
like raised lights came off and like it was the scene from Batman Returns. It looks like the bat signal like turning on in the background. So cool.
You didn't buy me.
No, the new Batman cue is just simply something in the way starts playing in the background. Gotham needs me.
Strum.
But anyway,
All right, recommendations before we go. Start, Austin. What do you recommend for people to do or buy or see?
I recommend people, because we're going to give a full review of it soon, but I recommend people, especially if you love Return of the Jedi, go out and grab this baby, because this is an awesome chunk of nostalgia and knowledge, and yeah, it's really awesome. It made me rewatch the movie with my wife again.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Plus, she's gonna get educated.
Okay. Ray.
Oh God, I don't really have anything. I'll just say I think I didn't watch the whole series when I promoted it, when I recommended it last week, but I finished it. So Fallout, fantastic series, beginning to end. Go watch it if you haven't.
Really?
Yeah.
Walton
Goggins. Don't bet never bet against Walton Goggins. That's a lesson I've learned in life. Don't bet against him. His stuff's always solid.
Don't sleep on Wally G.
No.
Don't sleep on Wally G.
See you later, Joe Fan. Yeah. He says I recommend to be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.
Those are biblical words. They should be spread across all the universe. Be excellent to each other.
I don't have any recommendations other than I went to see the Transformers 40th anniversary event where they showed the first 4 episodes of the G1 cartoon, and they had all the voice actors redo the first episode. That was really cool. I wish you
awesome.
Can't see it, but maybe they'll put it on YouTube one day. With that said, San Dimas football high rules. Oh, I screwed that up. San Dimas high football rules.
Signing off.
Trying to get my Bill and Ted.
Signing off from the Faith No More School of Philosophy and Thought, I think. I can't remember what it was called, but it was great. Yeah. I would like to.
All right. Check you guys out next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Peace.